Ready, Funty? Welcome to KG5 Football Park for a little bit of Friday night football. Traditional rivals, the Olympia FC Warriors and Hobart Zebras, preparing to do battle here this evening. I'm Andrew Cooling. Joining me to call our way through what should be a pretty interesting 90 minutes of football, Paul Hunt and Jake Morgan. A very good evening to you, gentlemen.
Oh, and it's a pleasure to be here despite the bitterly cold evening that we are facing up against tonight. There'll be two battles here tonight, Andrew, but certainly an exciting affair between two teams that, over 50 years worth of rivalry between these two. It's quite a encounter in Tasmanian football, this one, and we're excited about it.
Yeah, we certainly are here tonight. I do agree with your synopsis on the gold, but I'm sure we'll have a red-hot game here tonight. Olympia trying to get second place in the NPL Tas, but also one eye on that big FFA Cup game we've got here on Tuesday night at KGV Football Park. I know we're more than looking forward to that up here at the Slice of Cheese commentary box. But the game in front of us is what we need to focus on, and I think it's going to be a very close one.
Well, it is the big spectre looming over this one, as you mentioned, Funty, Tuesday. And interesting to see the approach of the Warriors tonight. Seems to have opted for perhaps more of the dress rehearsal approach with their starting lineup, minus a couple of players who are injured in Mearns and Sklanage. But apart from that, seems they're fairly full strength and are going to go in with the dress rehearsal rather than what I thought we might see, which is just resting a few of the big guns, just, keeping the powder dry for Tuesday. But it would seem that they picked a pretty strong lineup, and it'll be interesting to see how they go about it tonight. Of course, the red card tightrope, the other thing that will be in the back of their minds, any suspensions incurred in this game would rule them out of Tuesday.
And I really hope that Mr. White is listening here tonight, because certainly wouldn't want the strictest display of umpiring here tonight. We're a very partisan bunch up here, so hopefully Mr. White's listening and he's considering the fact that we want Tasmanian football to put on the best show possible.
We'll have a look at the Warriors' opponents tonight and the home side, the Hobart Zebras. They've met twice in the league this year, drawing both times, and a few different faces in this Zebras lineup from those previous meetings. Starting at the top, James Ackley, a young, skillful player. John Booger, or is it
Count Dooku?
He'll be the count as far as we're concerned. Not sure what the go is there, but Nicholas Gronwald has been an ever-present part of this team this year and their success. He'll be partnered by Jaden Hay in the middle of defence today with Yaya Imran Sir Vivian, call him what you like, Lewis out. He won't be taking part. He's got a knee injury, so he'll miss. Teddy Kadisha, the teddy bear, will get a gig today, and he's been playing pretty well for them to come into the team in recent weeks. There is a big return, though, on the Zebras page there. Yep. Number 14, Adam Sunday McEwen, came back through the Challenge League last week, and good to see him back out there. They've really missed him. Certainly, talking with Gronwald at the media event today, I asked him whether he thought the injuries or Saville's departure were the bigger cause of their downfall, and very diplomatically said both. So I think McEwen has been a big omission from that team. He's just another force that opposition defenders have to plan for.
The multifactorial approach there from Nicholas Grunwald, but
he's probably right, to be fair to him.
He's probably absolutely right. You can't just put it down to one thing or the other, but yeah, they've certainly not had the kind of stability that they would have liked to play their best football this year, Zebras, for what is a very talented team.
And Marcelo Mercuri has been pretty good at the back for them in goals. He's a reliable pair of hands, having a nice year. Matthew Pace has come in and added just that down the wings. He's a fairly flighty fella, and we'll look forward to seeing what he can do. Matthew, the Colonel Sanders, 5 goals in his last 2 games. Sklanage out injured, maybe just a chance.
He's getting himself a bucket of goals this year, isn't he?
He'll be looking for a few more. He's still a fair way back of Sklanage, 7 goals behind him, so it'll be tough to catch, but he can make some inroads tonight perhaps, and he's been in scintillating form. Dwayne Walsh, another one who's just returned in recent times, the big Dwayne Pipe, and good to see him, Sanders and McEwen out there. No Luke Hughesley tonight, though, is probably the biggest news off the bat.
Tragedy.
That is a tragedy. So he'll be... I think he's out in the crowd here somewhere. I think I saw him, but he won't be...
Can't miss him.
Yeah. He won't be taking part, which is a tragedy. And Jack Gates, another name from last week's team, who is out there of Backhouse, Biggin, Brooks and Reid is the bench for Zebras. So a bit of youth on the bench and a pretty young lineup on the whole for Zebras tonight.
Which has been the theme the last few matches, sort of as Fotak has come in. There's been a lot more youth being put in, especially with Ackley, Pace, who's done really well, and I was surprised not to see Gates in the lineup tonight.
Well, it'll probably make it a bit easier to call for us, to be honest, boys, because he does love to rock that look that a few of those Zebras boys like to run with.
I believe he was trialling with the Brisbane Strikers midweek. I think I saw something about that. We'll move on to their opponents tonight, the Olympia FC Warriors. And as I've said, a pretty strong lineup. It's just suggesting this is a bit of a dress rehearsal. Tommy Bellini up top. Interesting with no Jakob Sklenage, who plays the 9. I think it might be the big mountain, number 2, Lucas Hill. I think he might be...
I'd love to see Big Cartwright run with the striker like he did on the opening day of the season. Big fan of the way that boy can hold the ball up.
Well, he's the other option. Played there a bit for Kingborough last year. Man Mountain.
Man Mountain.
So number 22, Jakob Cole. He'll be between the sticks. We've mentioned Hill. James McCarthy has started to show a little bit in the last couple of weeks as the figure of Luke Hughes just appears before us, looking very forlorn, and that's matching my expression with him not out on the pitch. Mark the Business Ortman will patrol the middle of the park. He's a fantastic young player. Joel Samet, the fullback. Paul Stevens will partner Jacob Vandermeer in defence, you'd expect. Hugh Undy back in the starting lineup, straight in there. Huge Dax. He's been a huge omission from the team. Really was in top form at the start of the year. Was linking up superbly with Sklenage, but has been out for a long time. Great to see him back, and good timing with the FFA Cup game close. Jake Vandermeer, the captain at the back, and the postman, Warren.
I love him.
He'll take his spot on the right. On the bench, the People's Champion, Shay Hickey, Jacob Lehman, Joffrey Nkosa. I like the look of him. He's shown plenty the last couple of weeks.
The Prince.
Yes, he has shown plenty, the Prince. And Mitchell Stalker, the backup keeper. What do we think is going to transpire here tonight, gentlemen?
Oh, well, I think I'm just going to have to probably say that I'm unable to call this one because I literally have no idea which way it could go, to be honest, because we don't even know who's going to line up as the striker for the Olympia Warriors. They have quite a flexible lineup, but it's certainly going to be a cracking affair. But yeah, just a little bit of striking stocks perhaps missing this evening. Could be a 0-0, lads.
You reckon 0-0? All right, then I will stick my neck out. I'm going to tip Zebras for this one. I think they've turned the corner. They've had their downturn through injuries through the likes of Walsh and McCune. Sanders back in good form. Would love to get one over Olympia before they represent the state in the FFA Cup. As we see Charles White with the most important duty today, not to send anyone from Olympia off unless be
sensible, Mr. White.
Unless they absolutely need to. No soft red cards, please.
We want to see a calm refereeing display this evening, and if we do have anybody listening here tonight from the Appia pensioners, we do hope that you're enjoying our commentary, and we look forward to having you down here.
Yes, the big game on Tuesday night at this very ground. And we're just about in readiness here as the big mountain strides up top. And I think we are going to see him as the striker. Will we see that on Tuesday night? Sklenage, of course, in a race against time. But tonight, he'll be up top, and I think he'll score as Olympia win 2-0 is my tip.
I'll tell you what, you could play about 4 of them for Lucas Hills, couldn't you? Just as the spine of the team. He's quite a talent.
Well, he's done that so far this year. I've seen him line up in all 4 of those spine positions in the last 4 weeks, I think.
Attacking mid, defensive mid, centre-back, and now striker. So, yes, he's very much...
got a few strings to the bow.
He certainly does, and we're underway here. Friday night football. The mountain lays it back to Jimmy McCarthy. And it looks like the Business Ortman has just slotted in at right back. So that's an interesting move right off the bat.
Yeah, I love a ball playing right back, boys. It's always a pretty crucial part of football.
He's probably got one of, if not the best skills at his feet, as young Mark the Business Ortman. And
I mean, he is a right back. Come on, boys. A bit more misinformation, please, with the big game coming up. We know who we're getting behind.
He's a natural right back, never played anywhere else in his life.
Absolutely fleet of foot.
Absolutely. As we see another person who's fleet of foot, Jaden Hay. That's that one, heavy touch, and Lucas just not bothered to track that one back. And Belidi bursting their left-hand side, the mountain peeling off to the back post. Still got Hay for company, tricky customer to get around. Goes back, beautiful 1-2, ball into the box, near post, Cartwright heading up towards centre forward, and very promising start for Olympia. Both Cartwright Hill and Bellini all striding forward.
Yeah, they were just combining quite well there, but perhaps Big Cartwright's touch just letting him down, but not letting him down on this occasion as he plays in Bellini, who may have been offside, but I think Teddy Kadisha has just kicked that one out of play and they'll get the first corner of the game, but all pressure from the Olympia Warriors so far, and you should be worried, Appiah.
Absolutely. I mean, if that minute, they can keep that 1.5 minutes up for the full 90 on Tuesday, they're in some trouble as the short corner taken to Bellini. J-Mac in the very loud boots will get the return. Looks to go back post, but well cleared from Kadisha. It's going to come straight back there, Mark the Business Ortman.
And those new kits are looking quite beautiful for the Warriors, aren't they?
If they were the new ones, I'd agree. As we look, as we look to the win.
No mercy, Paul.
Nah, call him out on that.
I mean, there's one's got stripes and a completely different front kit sponsor. So we see the Mountain play it back to J-Mac. Now to the natural right back at Mark the Business Ortman. Now back to. I mean, did you know Mark the Business Ortman considers Gary Neville his idol? That's how much of an absolute solid right back he is. So we see Joel Samet now on the left wing. Inside to Bellini, who I think's got a slightly ruder haircut than before. Grunwald will manage to clear that one. High rises Kadisha, and Ackley pumps that one forward in the direction of Vandermeer.
Typically calm at the back there from Vandermeer. Just knocking it out to Stevens, who has to get it going again, but Cole perhaps a little bit errant with that distribution, and they could have let in the big Colonel here. Things starting to look a bit worrying for him, and he has a dip from range, but nothing really doing there as Ackley tries to get on the ball, but just felled by the big unit that is Cartwright, who plays it in short there, and they just combine to hang on to the ball here, the Warriors.
I think I know who's going to win the physical challenge between Cartwright and I think that was Ackley over there. That's a one-horse race if there ever was one, as J-Mac.
One elephant race.
I hope he hasn't heard you say that, as Bellini now picks it up centrally. Lucas Hill goes for the 1-2 and shanks it off his other foot. A well dispossessed from Samet. And it's now out for a throw-in. Very good touch from the big bear, Alex Holmes, there on the sideline as well. Filling in, obviously Kenny Weston not on the bench tonight. And it's a good flick on from the Colonel. Now Mark Ortman. What can the Biz do from here? Tries to find Cartwright, who tries to turn the defender and ended up just turning himself.
Yeah, probably the correct decision there. A little bit of a protest there from Cartwright, but certainly don't think that there was a foul given away there as Jaden Hay looks for the long diagonal ball, but really quite a poor header there from, I think it was Sunday McCune.
Yeah, I think that was out on the far side. He'll be trying to get his foot on the ball. He's played a few minutes in both the Challenge League. I think he came back last week as well, but it's his first start for nearly 2 months for Sunday McCune, so good to see him back out there. As Grunwald rises high to take that one off the Mountain. And it's well kept in from McCune, and then a nice touch.
It was great work from Warner there, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
As we finally see the big Mountain get onto the ball, and he could be a good target threat up there, and young Samet gets onto the ball here for a second and looks to spray the ball to Hill, but well taken there from McCurry. You've really got to come out of your box and get to those ones when you've got clinical striker like Lucas Hill getting involved, and typically good clearance we see there from Warner. Only gets as far as the big Sanders.
Yeah, Cartwright coming in to take that one off the Colonel.
Another one of those big-bodied Olympia players that can play a few positions, big Cartwright.
Yeah, I've seen him at centre-back, left-back, centre-mid and striker so far this season. They love a nice fluidity to their players, do Olympia.
Yeah, there's certainly been a few injuries that haven't helped them too much as the crowd protest a little bit about a potential handball, but Jaden Hayes just going to try and take on 3 Olympia players there, which didn't quite work out too well for him, and Cartwright's going to get onto the ball, but pinched this time by Ackley before the strength wins out there from the big bold dome of Cartwright.
David versus Goliath battle in the middle there between Ackley and Cartwright.
Absolutely.
As the skipper, Jake Vandermeer, gets on it and plays it across to Paul Stevens. Those two have been playing together in the middle of defence a little bit more recently as Lucas Hill looks to turn and run towards goal. He sends it in the postman's direction, but Warriner was alert to it. He cuts out, jinking round one. This is promising from Warriner. Sends it wide to Sunday McEwen, broken up by the business. And then Cartwright, who was outstanding against Devonport last week, just getting a foot in. Teddy Kadisha is rampaging against Clarence. I don't think he's going to have quite as much space on the right wing tonight as he did last week.
No, and he certainly might have a lot more to worry about defensively with Tommy Bellini running at them, who, incidentally, has just spat all over himself.
There's a lot going on with that salad too.
There is a lot going on. I was about to make reference to the salad before the dribble came out, but
Trying to put some dressing on that salad, I think.
yeah, I think he was. That's right, Fundy.
So back into the middle they go, and they'll spread it to Luke Warriner. He's had a fantastic year going in for Matthias Tolkill in that left-back spot, and he's really made it his own as Warriner. It's Jaden Hay looking to drive them forwards. The Bees got in and won the header away, though. And you throw in the Zebra's way. So a pretty cagey opening through 7 minutes. No real clear chances for either side, but the defence is looking pretty organised so far.
Yeah, just for the moment, probably just playing into a little bit, which we flagged in the pre-game, that not the number one strikers. Well, I suppose you got Big Matty Sanders lining up out there, but I'd like to see Lukey Hoogsloot lining up top, really. But yeah, certainly a little bit depleted in attack at the moment, these two teams.
Yeah, and we're very close to Olympia's best striker, Jakob Spinage, sitting in front of us here in the Slice of Cheese commentary box. Fingers crossed. He's ready for
crossed.
Tuesday, as it's going to go forward towards the count, who calls for a handball. Can't see why that would be given, and that's a very nice ball cut out from the Biz.
Yeah,
well
showing
controlled.
that typical Neville-like stature of his.
Absolutely. That's a nice ball whipped to the back post. Booger gets up, and the holding midfielder McCarthy will see that one. Bellini takes a heavy touch, and Kadisha is just going to put his body in the way of that one.
Really liked the way that Ackley was willing to get back into that space as Kadisha was coming forwards there. You certainly need to see your teams working well together in defence, and that's certainly a good example of that as Lucas Hill tries to hold up the play, but gets fouled by Jaden Hay, and there'll be a free kick in the centre circle for the Warriors.
Of course, the curtain raiser for this one, the Challenge League, it was a 93rd minute winner from the Warriors.
What a goal it was.
4-3, a cracking goal, and I'll tell you what, whilst we've not seen us even close to a chance in this one, wouldn't mind a game like that one here tonight as Cartwright's the target of this free kick. Jaden Hay won it away. Samet just got beaten to it there by Pace. He'll play it across there to the Dwayne pipe, and the reigning Mitzi medalist just thumps it down the guts. And the Biz will be all on his own to just pick that one up, and the Warriors will look to build from the back again through Paul Stevens. Samet making a run, goes short to Lucas Hill, who's just dropped in to receive that one. And across to McCarthy, who I think he's just starting to find his feet at the Warriors. It's taken him a little while. He's been injured, he's been suspended, but I think he'll be a very important player if they're going to have any success in the FFA Cup.
Ball.
That's a cracking ball to Samet. First time pass to Bellini was intercepted by Jaden Hay, and Mr. Versatility just puts it out of play there.
Yeah, just put a little bit too much on that first touch there when he could have just perhaps played that in front of Bellini, as we see the postman go the parcel instead and just go for the long bomb. Airmail right there from the postman.
Absolutely, and you see Mark the Business Orman go back post, and no one really home there. Certainly trying to send that one airmail. Was with Dawu. I don't think you could really count that as a shot. Certainly blocked well before it got anywhere, and Curie manages to pick that one up. Now Grunwald out to Warriner. He's got McCune and Booger ahead. Ignores the count, which is always dangerous, and nearly puts it over his head. Cartwright gets in front of Ackley. We'll leave it. Now Booger. Great ball out wide to the Dwayne Pipe, who's going to need to get his skates on for that one, and does well to put that out for a throw. Very good slide.
Yeah, the linesman had a much better view than that from me, but I'm still dubious about that one as we see Bellini give the ball away to Dwayne Pipe, but comfortably cleared away by Big Vandermeer, but only as far as Ackley, who plays little 1-2. Pace gets it going out wide to Warriner, who's been one of the better left backs in the league for me this year, and a beautiful cross right there. Jeez, beautiful work there for Warriner to try and get it goalwards, and Ackley's having a shot too. Jeez, there, good little spell there for the Zebs at the moment, just cleaving them apart of the better left backs in the league for me this year.
Look at that
post
from
Warriner.
Needed to be
Beautiful
in
work
front,
there from
and
Warriner.
then to be fair, Walsh's wasn't too bad either, and Ackley just had to kind of guide it, but just guided it
I'll
a
tell you
bit
what,
wide.
if I was capable of delivery like that from Warriner, I would be just spraying the bloke that doesn't score that, because that is absolutely class.
Just continue to be impressed by his work, Loki Warriner. I think he'd be a fair shout for the team of the season left back the way he's played this year. Certainly in the conversation.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with that, actually, when you consider the fact that we've had Quayle injured for South Hobart, although his backup, Connor Schmidt's been quite good. I think that's a very fair shout for the team of the season for Lukey Warriner. He's been quite immense on that left-hand side.
It's Jaden Hay carrying out from the back. Goes across to the big Chicago kid who actually probably should have done this a little earlier in the year, but Grunwald, with the official pronunciation. Groon, not Gron. There we go. But,
why is there an E in it then?
Commended our efforts. Well, that was my question to him. But like you said, you've been doing a good effort with the boys, but Grunwald. So
too much watching Gruen transfer, I think, is my issue.
Oh, look, I'll put that down to the difference in accents, I reckon. I mean, the bloke might know his own name, but
he might.
We know it better, as that one's going to sit under that man. Now I'm very self-conscious. Gronwald eventually plays forward to the Colonel. I'm mispronouncing his name, and Cartwright's all over the back of him.
Lots of people do. The Colonel.
Good old Colonel. Been banging him in for fun. 5 in his last 2 weeks, and he'll be a threat tonight if they can get him that service. This will be broken up by the Biz, though. His pass wasn't so sharp. Errant is correct, and Jaden Hay doing plenty of work early on. Spreads it across to Teddy Kadisha, just skips around Bellini like a witch's hat. Now looks to feed Jimmy Ackley, but Paul Stevens.
Very composed there from Stevens, and they'll look to counter quite quickly here, the Warriors, but not really anything doing up ahead. And wasn't the press great there from the Zebras to just really suffocate what was going to be a counter-attack there. But we see Bellini take a poor touch, and the ball is now Jaden Hayes, and he opts to go back to his keeper in McCurry. I think they've actually started the better of the two teams here tonight, the Zebras boys.
Well, I'm just thinking back to the last league meeting between the two teams. I think it was 1-0 at half-time, a Sklenage free kick, and that was just about the only shot of the half, and we're on track for a very similar type of game so far. I really hope it picks up, because that was a very dull 90 minutes on that occasion.
Yeah, it was, and was that the Olympia? Was that over at Warrior Park? Or was
it was here 1-1.
Yeah.
Gates equalising in the second
half.
As
the ball
Lucas
played
Hill
through.
Almost racing onto that one, but McCurry covers.
I was going to say the Warrior Park game wasn't a whole lot better. I had a neck ache after that one. That was some long ball of the highest order, but that was pre-Western era, so...
Also should have been 6-0 rather than 1-0.
Yeah.
Some extraordinary misses on that afternoon, the Anzac Day clash.
Yeah, recommend if anyone see great misses, go back and check out the highlights package of that Anzac Day match.
Wasn't the sharpest display of shooting, that's for
I don't
sure.
know if there's any Olympia Warriors videos on the internet anymore, is there, boys?
Oh, not if you've done the job properly.
Our producer just throwing a bit of blame out there. Good to hear, good to hear.
Yeah, nothing of the nature here as McCurry now picks it up.
Grunwald.
As we see him go forward, and that's a theatrical way to be taken down, but a foul given from the referee.
And I have to praise the referee so far. No silly red cards early on, which is good to see, Mr. White.
Yeah, good to see he hasn't done it for any, illegal breeze or anything on any people. It's been the only contact.
Or swearing at your own teammate.
Yeah, as we see Hay loft that one to the back post. And
lofted it was, but got to give credit to Mark the Business Ortman right there for good strength really against Sunday McCune, who's got a fair bit of height on him.
And it's what you'd expect from a solid right back that Mark the Business Ortman is and has always been.
Yeah.
Does well to shield McCune.
That's really what you got to do. If you can't win the header, you take your spot and you hold your ground.
Indeed, as
Oh, no.
Cole not taking the goal kicks. Hopefully that's not an injury to worry about for Tuesday night. As we see, you're disgusted by that.
I never like to see it.
Vandermeer might as well flicked on, and Hayes just going to turn that around. Undy beats the second in Wadawu.
He's one of the more composed players in the NPL Tasmania. You have to say Jaden Hay, very calm on the ball. Always willing to play the ball out of defence too, which we like to see.
One person I'd have in my NPL Tas fantasy team, if there was such a thing. I think he's got great versatility and great touch as well.
Oh, well, he's one of those players that you could probably put as your centre back, and he's going to line up on a wing on occasion and get you extra points. Isn't that right, Funny?
That's how it works. As Chicago Kid, raking left foot ball, nearly clears ahead of Ortman. Now the postman, Wadawu. Can't said much with two players around him, but wins a free kick.
Yeah, I think he just wins the free kick for the old I'm going to have a sit down there. Didn't really see much of a foul going on there, but Jake Vandermeer, the captain of these Warriors, gets it going again. They look to go quickly to McCarthy in the middle it was, and he got it out wide to Samet and then recycles it into the middle. But this Zebras team is pressing quite well, you have to say, early on here, boys.
Yeah, they are. I think interesting, I thought maybe with Lucas Hill's height playing as the 9, they might be knocking under his head, but he's been dropping in very deep to receive the ball with Bellini running on behind him and Samet as well really pushing up. So it's an interesting system they're playing here, the Warriors, and a chance for the postman to deliver something here. Warriner tightly marking, played it into Bellini.
I reckon it's all part of the master plan.
Bellini to Wadawu, lovely ball that. Bellini now with a chance, and getting back in coverage was Pace, and puts it behind for a corner. For a moment, it looked like they'd been unlocked.
Had to get that nice one too. Wadawu, extra touch, and yeah, that's Pace just getting across. I mean, keeper may have had that, but you don't know in that situation. So a very good clearance from Pace.
Didn't quite have the best view of that one, but really good interplay to just create the chance there from the Warriors, and it shows what they can do when they combine as the ball is whipped into the box, and big Lucas Hill gets the header to it, but only as far on this side
Hugh Undy.
as Undy, and Undy gets his head up, but Kadisha does it, or John Dooku rather, does a fantastic job of just pressuring him there and wins the free kick.
Yeah, just a little bit too keen to nip at the heels at Hugh Undy. Great to see him back out on the field. Only Olympia player with FFA Cup experience, so he'll be looking to get himself ready for Tuesday night. As we see McCarthy surely going to aim back post to the tall timber. Can't imagine anything different coming up here.
Very good over the dead ball, McCarthy, and he swings this one in near post, but the Colonel getting back in defence, and he nods it away. Wadawu skies it back to the Biz. Back to Wadawu. He's going to send it right back in the mixer. Lucas Hill the target. Won the volley. And he wanted a run from Vandermeer. It didn't come, and now back the other way come the Zebras. The count. He's got pace to burn, but ice cold there was Jacob Cole.
Yep.
Great composure and just kept it out there to McCarthy. Very nicely done.
And we've made this call a few times this year, but there is clean Cole, and he proves it once again right there with a beautifully clean touch to just snap it away from the defender. And in an instant, the ball is swung in, and Hugh Undy gets to the ball, but geez, he probably should have done a bit better with that header. Got himself into quite a nice spot as the collision is ridden well there from young Samet, and you've got to give him credit there for coming up against the big body in the Dwayne pipe and frankly not getting snapped in half. Good on the lad.
Do really well. Imposing figure, the Dwayne pipe. He's got the real physical tools, but he did not step back there, Samet, which is just what you want to see from a young player. Grunwald out to Lukey Warriner. He'll look up and assess the field and go straight back to the Chicago Kid. He just saunters out of defence and then goes with a nice little chip, but it'll be broken up again by the Biz to the Chrome Dome, Cartwright.
Actually given the ball away quite a few times tonight has Grunwald.
Ackley dispossessed there. The Colonel surely grabbing the shirt there of Paul Stevens, and that's blown.
Affirmative fusion about where that's taken. Colonel wanting that put back as far as possible as we see McCarthy looking to build up from the back. Just to put that one inside to Cartwright. He's got the postman inside. Now chooses to take him down the line. He's got Warrener for company and slips over.
Warrener.
Very, very well done from Warrener. And that's, I'm assuming, going to stay in. A bit far away to call that one.
A little bit of Johnny Cash from the ball there, walking the line. As we see Stevens get onto it, and perhaps just offside there from Hughundy, but ball has just taken a touch from the Dwayne pipe, and they'll get the throw there, the Warriors. Quite a fortunate turn of events, really, from what wasn't the best pass.
As we see Samet, a few options short, looks towards Undy. Got Hill dropping in, and between three of them, they eventually got there, and that's not a foul called.
And from distance.
Yeah, good hit from the mountain. Counts as a shot on target. Had to get down low, did McCurry.
You could tell from our not quite excited commentary there. Not really threatening, though. Not really on the kind of line that you want your shot.
I like to hear you when you do get excited, Morks.
Oh, jeez.
And that one's thumped long to the Dwayne pipe. Now the cross will be put in there, and Cole should collect. And that he does.
It's a racket calling. It's an absolute racket. As your parents would no doubt know from Timmy Cahill's goal in 2014 World Cup.
What a goal that was. I'd love something like that here tonight. We need something like that.
Oh, we do.
Pretty cagey affair through 22 minutes.
Really good job there from Hughundy to get the ball going nice and quickly there, and a beautiful turn there from Lucas Hill, showing his striker credentials, and just quite disappointing there from Hughundy to not play the ball to Big Cartwright there when he'd done a good job of staying onside, and really quite a poor ball at the end there. Cross-come shot there, really.
A complete tangent. I watched that Tim Cahill go from Village Cinemas, which is one of the weirder places I've ever watched a football match at 8:30 in the morning.
Jeez.
Yeah.
The big Village. Hopefully they'll be rocking that out for 2018. Though I didn't realise that the cinemas were still in business with the with the age of streaming that we have in these days.
And especially at 8:30 on a, I can't remember what morning that was, but it wasn't regulation. Anyway, it was enjoyable.
I was a uni student. It just... I didn't do any work, let's face it. You can go whenever you want.
Hit that low and wide. I thought there was a foul in the build-up there. McCarthy asking the same question of White. Oh, it's kind of 6 of one, half a dozen of the other, really. They both got each other's shirts. And the ball's dropped nicely. Yeah, Sunday.
Yeah, he's appealed for the foul because he's grabbed the opponent's shirt and the opponent's gone down. So he thought he'd just ask the question.
Well, he's got a hold of the opponent's shirt.
Of course.
Absolutely, as Stevens now looks to build up from the back, under-pressured, and Dwayne Walsh just gives that one a nice 6-iron out of the way. Now to Vandermeer, who's looked a lot more composed at that centre-back position. Probably his more natural position than his right back he was playing throughout the middle of the season. Now pace. Mark Altman will...
Typically good positioning there from the young right back.
Absolutely, as Stevens, he's got Undy in the middle. Bypasses him, Hill dropping short. Eventually just plays that to no one in particular as Vandermeer will cut that out. Hill with a nice pirouette to win it back, so good press. Very, very aggressive call from Hill to get that off Samet.
He's working hard, isn't he, for a bloke that doesn't regularly play striker. He's certainly doing a good job of getting the link-up play involved. Well won there from Teddy Kadisha.
He's playing a bit more, I guess if you're going to go tall, lanky strikers, a bit more Berbatov than Peter Crouch. They're not quite bombing it to his head. He's dropping off short, nice touch. That's probably the way you'd prefer, especially with such a physical, imposing centre-back as Grunwald out there.
So wide they go to huge Dax. He looks up, sends it to Hill in the mountain. Misplaced pass there, broken up by Ackley. Now the counter's on for the Zebras. The mountain looking to atone by tracking him back, but shows him a clean set of heels. Does Ackley still going? Hopefully we'll run this from Ackley. Then spreads it wide.
Smart.
Well held up by McEwen, who plays in Warrener down the left. Luke Warrener cutting it back. He didn't get enough purchase. The Colonel was there waiting to pounce. It's put behind for a corner.
Tell you what, but that play was all about young Ackley, wasn't it? He made the run up this hand, up our near side rather, and just sensibly played it out to the other side where the overlap was on. But unfortunately for the Zebras, Lukey Warrener just didn't quite have the end product there, and it's fortunately ended in a corner for them.
I'm just hoping they can manage to find the ball. It's pitch black in that corner. Once you get out of the lights, I think they've got the spare. Fingers crossed they can get the other one.
There's been a few issues with the lights out here in recent times.
Yeah. Got to make sure the time is always on as we see. Hey, giving the signal, going near post. It should be cleared from Undy. Got to get a bit more height on that. Now McCarthy and Ackley. And McCarthy wins the 1v1. He's got 3 people streaming forward, and that's very, very good defence from Warrenup. Knew exactly what was happening there.
Hasn't really put a foot wrong so far tonight, Warrenup, perhaps other than just getting a better ball in that last play before this. Yeah. As we see, that ball goes only to the Dwayne pipe from the Warriors, and Colonel Sanders looks to play it in, but calm touch there from Jakey Vandermeer, and they will recycle the possession here, the Olympia Warriors.
Clean Cole getting the first clean pass out.
Oh God, Mum's trying to stream the game, and I reckon she's going to give herself a computer virus.
Well, that's highly, highly unfortunate for all our viewers out there as Bellini picks it up on the left wing.
Oh, good God, Mum.
Bellini looking to thread through. Kadesha working up there. Small sets, just tries to sort out the family situation here. Yeah. Samet with the throw-in duties.
Nah, the phone's gone flat.
Short.
She's in a world of bother now, Mum.
Well,
on the dark net, I reckon.
Mine's currently the MCG, so I'm not having that issue as Samet. Throws that one in. And Walsh just gives him a don't argue, thank you for coming. Now, John Dooku Booger count. Can't quite get there. Actually, now manages to get there, and it's a 3v3.
Yeah, just gets out his curved lightsaber and cuts apart the Warriors' defence, but the... unfortunately, the ball wasn't really played to anyone in particular, but the Olympia Warriors just go, anything you can do worse, we can do worse. And they get it to Sanders, who tries to jink up the byline, but well covered by Stephen.
Yeah, eventually got there to win the corner, Sanders. He was looking, trying to get that half a yard of space to fire that one low. But, yeah, I certainly agree with that. It's 2 very loose passes, both of them saying, yours, yours, and actually it's the Colonel's. And the Colonel doesn't need a free.
Good covering defence there, though, you got to say, against the bloke who's really been making the league his own this year, Colonel Sanders.
He gets the chance to swing the set piece in here. That lovely left foot of his. Set up a number of goals, although no Hugh Sloat tonight to pick out. What can he do? He sends it towards the back post. Volley first time. Oh, picked out Hay there, and he couldn't make sweet contact with the ball. It was lovely delivery, and he just peeled off here, Jaden Hay. He can't make them pay the price.
Yeah, unfortunate there for Jaden Hay, one of the people in the league who usually have a clinical first touch, but couldn't quite get the volleyed strike going from the corner there. So we just see Bellini and Undy combine for the moment. Bellini trying to stay on side and does so well, but the ball is picked out by Ackley as Big Dax hang on to it for just a little bit too long there.
And that's going to be a rather misplaced pass there for a corner.
Disappointing corner to give away.
Rather
you think about that. Certainly showing why he's an attacker and not a defender. There, the big Dwayne pipe.
Yeah, certainly does prefer streaming forward as McCarthy finally gets to the corner and now would like the Dwayne pipe to give him the ball, which he surely does. 30 minutes gone in this contest. No goals yet, but played a pretty good tempo. As McCarthy's going to look to put this in the middle. It ends up going a really far back post. On the back, Mountain can't quite get there. Postman gets in for a scrap. Calls for a handball and eventually just thumped clear.
Looked a bit more like break dancing in the box there than football for a second there, lads, as the ball is finally cleared by the Zebras. The Warriors will get it going again, but they've had a couple of good moments, both the teams now, so just starting to settle into the game a little bit. But Lucas Hill gets a beautiful header through there, and if Teddy Kadesha hadn't been there, that would have been a certain goal. Beautiful covering play from the right back there. You've got to give him a bit of credit, lads.
That's where the height of Hill can come into play. When he does drop in short, he can get those flick-ons and have the pacier players in support running onto him. He's held the ball up here, works it to Cartwright, looks to hold off the attention of pace. It works out all right for Hill in the end. He gets it to McCarthy, threads it to the postman. There's a little dink It was to Bellini, who'd made an inside run, so wasn't there for it. Vandermeer now steers it away from the Colonel. Cartwright will get there before the Dwayne Piper who'd overcommitted. Now there might be some space in behind. A lofted ball dealt with by Grunwald. Lucas Hill up against Warner, and the little fella just out muscling the mountain there. A bit of Olber and Martell stuff there.
I tell you what, if Walsh and Cartwright had collided, then you would have felt that on the Richter scale. That would have been huge, both of them running, as we see the ball now coming in the direction of Hill, but just over his head. Yeah. And 4v1 up this end for the Colonel, so Vandermeer should play that back and try and recycle out the far side. There's Jacob Cole still pushing rather high up to claim that throw in before. Clearly not put off by the cross-come clearance since Cartwright.
Great ball from Ortman.
Yeah, absolutely heeds your advice there, Morgs. And
the ball playing right back.
Yeah, absolutely. And he keeps that in well and manages to win a corner off the feet of Grunwald. So very well done from the big Chrome Dome.
Might take this short. Yeah. McCarthy goes to Cartwright, who turns, and that's well dealt with though. Well done by the count.
Turns into a brick wall right there.
Yeah, all for taking it short, but you kind of need a runner to the other side, not going down the line. In my very unexpert opinion.
So Wadawu.
Well, what does that make me then? Funny.
The throw in. There's McCarthy back to the postman, who turns inside on the left, looks to power into the box. This is a fine run from Wadawu. Cross the face, tapped in by Hill.
That's an own goal.
Off Jaden Hay. Oh, stiff taking that away from the mountain though. That was on target. It doesn't matter. It's 1-0 Warriors. The mountain. Lucas Hill.
Lurking at the back post. Very hard to hide a mountain, but he was just there behind Hay. I'd be very, very interested in seeing if this was actually going in or not, or whether Jaden Hay has managed to kick this.
Well, I've called it early, and I'm going to look a fool if it's not an own goal now, but wasn't the ball across the face really beautiful there, boys, you have to say, as we take another look at it. Beautiful interplay here.
Well, it's Wadawu doing it all
typically
himself.
The postman, always the postman. Beautiful stuff here. Ball across the face. A weak hand there from Mercury. We're just going to have a look at it now as he goes with his left boot. It is an own goal.
That's an own goal. That's going nowhere near.
Really quite unfortunate there for Jaden Hay because really couldn't do anything else about it. But
the one-man dubious goals panel will surely have a look at that on Monday.
I'd like to have the angles on that one. I reckon it's going in far post. Either way, very unfortunate for Jaden Hay. Not a lot he could do about it. And 1-0 to the Warriors, but that was might go down as an own goal. But Sanders with a chance at the other end, and now the Dwayne pipe straight at the keeper. But I was going to say that should be Warren Wadawu's goal. Really, absolutely tore him apart. And Luke Warren made a great start with this game, but he just got torched.
That is why they call him the postman, isn't it? Because his delivery is absolutely first class, and once again it was there. And despite Lucas Hill doing his best to mess that one up, they've just managed to get away with the first goal there, really, the Olympia Warriors, and they'll look for another one here as the ball is an attempt to be played over the top there from McCarthy in the direction of what was Big Cartwright, but really overhit there, unfortunately, and the Warriors will get it going again through that man, Grunwald.
Yeah, Jaden Hay has got plenty of time. And shifting across. And Olympia covering the space rather well. Just getting short to Ackley, who plays it to Kadisha, who manages to get a throw in off Hill. And good throw in from Hay. Now they'll try the other side through the Chicago kid. Lays it back to Hay. Patient build up here from the Zebras. And then a not so patient ball from Hay nearly falls fortuitously to Walsh, and now the Mountain had all the time in the world to place that header and placed it right on the foot of Teddy Kadisha, who gives the ball away. Back to McCarthy. Now Bellini. He's got four streaming forward, including Undy. Now the Mountain, who tries to touch it around Kadisha and just runs out of turf. Or fake turf, as it is here. KJV.
Oh, beautifully laid pitch, you have to say.
Yeah, absolutely. As well in this kind of dewy, wintry night. Holds up rather well. As Grunwald plays a long diagonal ball to Walsh, and it's not too far away from getting him on the chest, but runs out for a goal kick.
Yeah, and they certainly looked quite threatening after that goal was conceded, the Zebras, and they went forward quite quickly, but there were a couple of chances they couldn't quite convert, so Olympia Warriors probably just a little bit fortunate to be in front, really, after the effort on goal from Lucas Hill.
It was a real centre-back playing as a striker type finish, wasn't it?
It was.
That's a good way of describing it, I think.
And whilst he's been good in the air and linked up well, perhaps his task. Well, that said, I've seen him.
I was in
from
fear
30
after
yards.
I called it known goal straight away. I thought I was going to be made to look like an absolute nuffy, but I think I've got that one correct there. And they looked to that man, the goal scorer, the big Lucas Hill, and they'll look to get it going. But Mr. White has seen a foul out there.
Look,
hopefully he hasn't seen a red card at all.
It could still be confirmed as a nuffy on Monday, but we'll leave it to then.
Nah.
As Vandermeer picks it up, plays it to the best right back in the business, Altman. Now McCarthy. Now the postman. Let's see what he can deliver here. Nice through ball to Hill. He takes a touch, nearly gets around.
Well done there by Teddy Kadisha to just apply the pressure onto the big mountain there as he looks to try and find the postman, who's having a very good battle out there with Warriner, and he's only had the better of him for one moment of the game, but it was the telling moment of the game so far, as we see Ackley on the ball. They'll just look to recycle it out this right-hand side, the Zebras, and they get it up to Colonel Sanders, who just turns two players inside out in an instant and looks wide to Sunday McEwen, who probably should have done a bit better with that ball, really. It was some quite good work there from the big Colonel. Greasily slipped away, didn't he?
Absolutely. Like on the bottom tray of the chicken drawer. As we will see Altman to take the throw. Taking his time. Hasn't got too many options, in fairness. Eventually looks towards the Chrome Dome and he gets to a Zebras player and the Zebras get a throw. So a bit bogged down on the far side. Zebras look for the equaliser.
Quite rude of the players, really, when the grandstand is on the other side of the ground. But that's quite a threatening ball there for a second, and well dealt with by Cole, and his distribution was first class as well. He gets it to Samet, who gets absolutely put to the floor after he's kicked the ball, but he just cops a bit of a telling off there from Charlie White, and if he's going to be dishing out a red card tonight, we hope it's to one of that to that team. And we see Paul Stevens get onto the ball then. He gets it over the top to Cartwright, who gives it away in a very dangerous spot to Pace, but well dealt with there from big Jakey Vandermeer, the leader of this Warriors team, and the ball just gets stolen there by the Chicago kid, who goes on a bit of a jinking run, but he's left them open at the back now, and Lucas Hill looks to take advantage of it. He gets his head up, but Hugh Undy has run offside and is flagged.
He was offside the entire time at Hugh Undy. I don't think he was onside for a second.
Yeah, it wasn't well played.
Off. Still off.
Yeah, fell for Lucas Hill there. He's stalling forward. Had no one to pass the ball to. Undy, the only one in advanced areas, and he never got back on side. So don't take advantage of Grunwald being out of position after his little marauding run forwards, who initially won the ball superbly off Lucas Hill, and this time he smashes one direct in the Warriner direction, who flicks it on and will go behind for the goal kick as we creep towards half-time here, around about the 40-minute mark. Half-time just almost upon us. It's been, I suppose, slightly more open in the last 20 minutes after the first 20 minutes, really devoid of any type of chances. Been a few more shots in the last 20 or so. Again, just opening up a bit.
Certainly more open than the previous 90 before that as well. So I think we're all very, very happy for that. As when we'll see Cole.
Quite a scrappy encounter skills-wise, though, you do have to say, boys. A lot of cheap balls being given away by both teams here.
It's a great header from Bolden.
As we see another one.
Tries to do the fancy back heel. And eventually gets it back. McCarthy lets that ball run rather well across Ackley. Across pace, I should say, as that's Altman. Cartwright making a run into advanced areas, but ignores that. And Vandermeer is going to try and put that out wide to Bellini, who needs to stay on side here if he wants it from Hill. The postman making a darting run. Mercury Manages to get that one, not a problem at all. And
yeah, a little bit too much on that ball for the postman there, because there was quite a gap between the defenders there for him to play it into, and if it's not overhit, then you're in a dangerous spot as Luke Warrener gets onto the ball and gets his head down and starts running. But beautiful defending there from Mark the Business Ortman, who wins his team a free kick off the Zebras defender, and really well done from one of the better right backs in the league, you have to say.
Absolutely, as he takes that throw in expertly and then just thumped high in the sky. Undy versus Hay, and Hay just plays that backwards where he knew there was plenty of space and plenty of Zebras colours coming across. Now back to Hay. All the Zebras players up on the Olympia defensive line. It means you kind of have to get a long ball just to get it anywhere. Now the Colonel. Can't get past Van der May. Holds to pace. Really crowded. Tries to find the Dwayne pipe, and
good defending from Samet.
Very, very good defending indeed. And now Hay again. Much midfield play here from Zebras. It's kind of going defence straight to attack as Walsh kind of scuffs that one wide. Not terribly threatening. Just noticing for Zebras, everyone's sort of pushing up. Not too many people opting to drop short. And I've just noticed Gronwald's now come over to the grandstand side, conveniently where Hill is, and Hill's deciding to start this out in the boundary. And he's taken a very large run up.
Trying to escape him in the air. Grunwald has just followed him everywhere in the air so far, and he wins another header. It's been a cracking duel, and Grunwald's been winning it so far. Van der May eats that one away from the count. Matthew Pace now turning inside. Cartwright should break it up. He did, but gave it straight to Ackley again. A little bit sloppy here. Fed through, nice one too, and now the Dwayne pipe. He tries to chip goal, and it chips the roof of the net, and it'll be through for a goal kick. And again, the skill execution just not terribly sharp from either of these sides so far.
Yeah, it's certainly playing like a bit of a dead rubber at the moment, boys, because as we all know, the mighty South Hobart Football Club have wrapped up the title for another year.
Hey, not yet.
Well, it's one of those moments where you say it's mathematically possible for them to lose it, Paul, but really don't see that happening, given that they've only lost 2 games this year and not drawn a single one.
Yeah, last time Kingborough went and travelled to Darcyshire, I think it was 10-1, so it'd be quite a turnaround if they were to deny them the title this week. But yeah, I think she's all over the shouting. The battle for second place, probably Olympia's focus now, and of course Tuesday's massive match against the Apia-Leichhardt Tigers.
To all of our listeners, we expect you out here at KG5 supporting the Tasmanian side as they get going in the FFA Cup. And we see Mark Ortman back to the game, gets it to Lucas Hill, who gives it away again poorly, you have to say, and once again given away poorly there from Sunday McEwen with a bit of shirt tugging involved. And Charlie White appropriately picks up on that one.
Yeah, just a wee bit of a shirt tug there, and again, it's just a misplaced pass.
Lads, you know what? I brought my boots. Get me out there.
I see what's going on here. Just lulling up here into a false sense of security, perhaps.
Oh,
absolutely. I hope that's it.
I'd be gleeful if I was them right now, to be honest, because it's been a pretty bang average display. Even the goal, you have to say, apart from Wadawu's brilliant effort, it's been pretty much not up to the standard that both of these teams can play at.
And Jaden Hayes made up a good 3 yards on Undy then with his blistering pace and still managed to get the throw in, so he's done well.
Skills might not be there, but Jaden Hayes' defensive work has been first rate tonight, and he's been outstanding so far.
Yep, absolutely, and he now received that, and then
aside from getting the ball absolutely belted into him when he was probably expecting it to go about 90 degrees the other way, but they could have a bit of a chance here, the Zebras, before we see that typically composed Mark Ortman just knock the ball back to Jake Van der May, who's been having a very solid game and probably has been the most impressive player on the pitch, I have to say, so far. He's barely put a foot wrong.
Couldn't agree more as Bellini loses out that challenge, and there is the business again. Now with Dawu. There's the chip ball in the Cartwright direction. Now, nearly 1 minute played. We've had a time in this first half. I'd imagine that's probably all there's going to be. So one last chance here for the Zebras. Kadisha.
Tell you what I've learned from this first half, boys, and that is that I'll be praying that Sklanage and Mearns are fit on Tuesday night.
Well, and now we see Cartwright. He's got Undy screaming for it on the other side.
He's run offside again, though, Hugh Undy, and rightfully Lucas Hill just attempted to hold up the ball, and we see a back heel there from the postman, which could have really got his team into trouble before Mark the Business Ortman just got on top of it, and they'll try and get it out this left-hand side, but it's quickly shut down by the Zebras, and they opt to go the big ball up the guts, and it's taken away by the Chicago kid before Count Dooku unfortunately gives the ball away. And that's just a bit of a hit and hope there from Big Cartwright, and the Mountain trying to cause a bit of pressure there on Teddy Kadisha, and thinking that he's won a corner. The goal kick is given by Charlie White.
That might be all she wrote for the first half, and to be honest, good riddance. That was pretty disappointing first 45. Neither team near what they can produce. We've seen a lot better from both these sides this year, and their matchups this year, we've seen that. They just seem to cancel each other out. It's been a fairly scrappy one. They'll need to tidy it up in the second half. The Warriors, though, head into the sheds, a goal to the good. Really thanks to a moment of magic from Warren, the postman, Wadawu.
Yep.
That has them 1-0 ahead at the break. A fairly uninspiring first 45 here at KG5. And just really skill execution, basic mistakes being made here from both teams.
I don't know what it is whenever these two teams play against each other. They just seem to cancel themselves out, and it turns into a bit of a dogfight. Every match so far this season's been in that particular pattern as we have a look at the...
Probably the only players performing to their usual standards, I have to say, that I've seen so far are probably Jake Vandermeer and maybe Warren Wadawu.
I thought Warren has been pretty good as well on the left-hand side, outside of that one.
Apart from that one moment where
when they've scored.
Yes, absolutely. Put him in his grave for a minute there, and hopefully took out funeral insurance with Appia.
Yeah,
Let's not use too many of them up, though, boys.
Yeah, you've gone very early.
You're going very early. We're just going to let you have the halftime highlights here at KGV. We're going to attempt to keep warm in the halftime break. I think everyone else here has got the same idea, so we'll see you very soon.
I was
going to say the Warrior Papers. It's been the only contact.
Or swearing at your own teammate.
Yeah, as we see Hay loft that one to the back post.
Lofted it was, but got to give credit to Mark the Business, all part of the master plan.
Bellini to Wadawu, lovely ball that. Bellini now with a chance and getting back in coverage with pace. Puts it behind for it. Right back in the mixer. Lucas Hill the target. And the volley. What a run from Vandermeer. It didn't come, and now back the other way come the Zebras. The count. He's got pace to burn, but ice cold there was Jacob Cole.
Yeah.
Great composure.
To just snap it away from the defender, and in an instant the ball is swung in, and Hugh Undy gets to the ball, but geez, he probably should have done a bit better with that header. Got himself into quite a nice spot as the collision is ridden well there.
Yeah, he eventually got there, and that's not a foul called.
And from distance.
Yeah, good hit from the Mountain. Counts as a shot on target. Had to get down low, did McCurry.
Up long to the Dwayne pipe. Now the cross will be put in there, and Cole should collect. And that he does.
It's a racket calling. It's an absolute racket. Just quite disappointing there from Hugh Undy to not play the ball to Big Cartwright there when he'd done a good job of staying onside, and really quite a poor ball at the end there, student. It just... I didn't do any work, let's face it. You can go whenever you want.
Hit that low and wide.
Not tracking him back, but shows him a clean set of heels. Does Ackley still going? We'll run this from Ackley. Then spreads it wide.
Smart.
Well held up by McEwen, who plays in Warrener down the left. Luke Warrener cutting it back. He didn't get enough purchase. The Colonel.
His defence, but the unfortunately the ball wasn't really played to anyone in particular. But the Olympia Warriors just go, anything you can do worse, we can do worse. And they get it to Sanders, who tries to jig up the byline, but well covered by Stephen.
So no Hugh Sloat tonight to pick out. What can he do? He sends it towards the back post. Volley first time. Oh, picked out Hay there, and he couldn't make it.
To put this in the middle. It ends up going a really far back post. Back. Mountain can't quite get there. Postman gets in for a scrap. Calls for a handball, and eventually
There's McCarthy back to the postman, who turns inside on the left, looks to power into the box. This is a fine run from Wadawu. Across
Goal.
the face, tapped in by Hill.
That's an own goal.
Off Jaden Hay. Oh, stiff taking that away from the Mountain, though. That was on target. It doesn't matter. It's 1-0 Warriors. The Mountain, Lucas Hill.
Lurking at the back post. Very high down.
1-0 to the Warriors, but that was might go down as an own goal. But Sanders with a chance at the other end, and now the Dwayne pipe straight at the keeper. But I was going to say that should be.
The grandstand is on the other side of the ground, but that's quite a threatening ball there for a second, and well dealt with by Cole, and his distribution was first class as well. Hill looks to take advantage of it. He gets his head up, but Huundy has run offside and is flagged.
He was offside the entire time. He needs to stay onside here if he wants it from Hill. The postman making a darting run. Mercury manages to get that one. Hey, again, much midfield play here from Zebras. It's going to go in defence straight to attackers. Walsh scuffs that one.
Yeah, fed through, nice one too, and now the Dwayne pipe. He tries to chip goal, and chips the roof over the net, and it'll be. Welcome back to KG5 for the second half of the first game here in round 18 of the PS4 NPL Tasmania. The Warriors leading the Stripey Horses a goal to nil at the break, thanks to either Hill or Hay. Probably Hay, but we'll have a look at it again. Certainly due to Warren Madawi, that's for sure. Just destroying Warren and then plays it in.
It is. Look, it's travelling further away from the goal.
Probably. But I did tip 2-0 with Hill scoring, so I've got a vested interest in this one, boys. But we're about to get back underway, and he's hoping to a better second 45 minutes than we witnessed in the first. A real sloppy display from both these teams, neither of them anywhere near the sharp passing sides we've come to expect from them this year. Might just be the cold weather, I'm not sure, but they'll need to improve, the Zebras especially, if they can get back trailing in this game. Olympia ahead thanks to that one moment of magic in an otherwise pretty dull first 45, but last time they met, the second half, things just livened up a little bit, so he's hoping we get that again as Big Grunwald thumps this one along towards the Dwayne pipe. Undy comes flying across and gets on the ball. He's perhaps not quite been his sharpest tonight on his return from injury, and trying to get back for the FFA Cup. I think a bit of rust.
I'd certainly agree with that assessment there, Andrew Calling, because I've certainly seen him play much better than he has tonight, and he's certainly a classy player, is Hugh Undy, and we'll be expecting a lot from him on Tuesday night. But no changes either from either of these sides as they look to get it going, as we see just a line of players, but Ackley had strayed well offside there and comfortably picked up by both the linesman and my esteemed co-commentator. And these Warriors will get it going again, but really quite a sloppy first 45, you have to say, from both of these teams, and we'll be expecting the skill level to pick up in this half.
Yeah, crisp is not the word I would use to describe passing. It is what I'd use to describe the weather, and here is a break on nearly through to Colonel, but well cut out.
He went the wrong side then, you have to say, because Warner had worked, or rather Sunday McCune had worked hard to get into a good spot. And we see a beautiful ball there from Grunwald, who's played it to Colonel Sanders, but probably the best man on the pitch, you have to say. Jake Vandermeer just harassed him into giving the ball away there, and the Olympia centre-back has been probably the only player playing to his full potential here tonight.
He's in very good form, Vandermeer. He's moved back inside and he looks far more comfortable
he is,
there.
Yep. He's a centre-back. He's certainly not a left-back, as we see another offside given away there by Sunday McCune. Just quite a few little cheap ones that are given away here early. You certainly don't want to be giving up chances by unnecessarily straying offside when you've fallen behind, and they've done it a couple of times here, Zebras, and you'll really limit your opportunities if you make that a habit. As we see the postman play a typically brilliant pass and beautiful link up from Cartwright and Hill, but once again the ball was just overhit away from Lucas Hill, and Grunwald comfortably got it back to his keeper as the ball playing centre-back in Jaden Hay, who we've seen line up in a fair few positions this year. So gets the ball going again. And look at the way there's really just a line of players happening, isn't there? And once again, they've run offside.
Well, it had to be.
It's an interesting tactic. It's sort of, let's just get 5 players to sit on the Olympia defensive line and then play a through ball and let's hope they're not offside. Yeah,
this really high line that the Warriors are playing has caught them out a few times here, and that's really good defending that you have to say, and we really like to see beautiful work like that.
I don't know if it's something up this end of the park, but Hugh Undy couldn't stay onside in the first half.
As the postman have got that problem. Floors Dooku like a battle with Yoda, and he gets his head up and gets it going out the other side to either Bellini or Undy, who's jinking around into the box, and Warrener takes a poor touch, lets in Undy, plays 1-2, but nothing doing there, and they give away a goal kick.
Yeah, it's like whoever's shooting to the KGV house end is just born offside, it appears. So you use a Pipo Inzaghi reference from Alex Ferguson there. It's just so many offside calls down this side.
Yeah, but you have to give credit to the Olympia defence too in the way that they've played their high line and caught them out on a couple of occasions very early on here, and if you do play the high line, then you can't afford to let them in cheaply, so all credit to them as Cartwright wins the header away, because you have to say that both of these teams have very solid defences, but perhaps just a little bit short in attack for both of them.
You would think that, but Sunday McHugh managed to stay onside that time, and eventually the business Ortman.
Yeah, he seems to be going a little bit early, a little bit of habit in that for old Sunday McHugh, and a little bit of good form with going early to events and making runs.
He certainly
Thus
does.
the nickname.
Rumrold just thumps that out of play. Ortman tries to steal
15 metres.
15 metres.
We like to see it.
Yeah. Well, marshalled back, and Stevens looking like I didn't hear that comment from the crowd.
Nice throw, Mark.
Well, it certainly was a thing of beauty as Olympia, he'll get another chance to show his simply exquisite throwing technique. Those little 5-yarders, sometimes they can be a thing of beauty.
Yeah, truly a thing of beauty. He looks like he's tried to lose himself 5 metres there, and it's a pretty bang average throw in. Yeah, the ball is given away straight away via Ackley and Sunday McHugh, who wins the throw for the Zebs this time. He'll just give the ball to Warrener, and I really like that cheeky little bit of work from the postman there to just buy his defence an extra 5 seconds. Really well done, just helps him shape up without earning a yellow card, which should not be given, should we say.
As Grunwald gets his boot around that centering ball for the Dwayne Pipe. Ackley will pounce upon it. Took off on a great little jinking run in the first half to unlock him. That ball was not unlocking anything though. Broken up by Samet. Cartwright looks to pick up Bellini. Teddy Kadisha marshalling him, but Bellini going strong. Played it down the line, trying to play an undie, but Jaden Hay well in control of the situation. That's Marcelo Mercuri.
He just floats over the top of the ball at times, Bellini, doesn't he? He's a very flighty type of player and can show a good turn of pace as well. And he's been having a good battle up that that left-hand side with Teddy Kadisha tonight.
For once, McEwen wasn't offside there, but overhit that one. And Jacob Cole picks it up and plays it to Paul Stevens, who goes down the line, broken up into the middle for pace.
Beautiful effort there from Sunday McEwen recovering, and
Grunwald picking out the Colonel, but he had his pocket picked there by Paul Stevens. Did really well.
Yeah, good strength of the body, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's pretty poor from McCarthy, straight out of play. And that's a lot more of what we saw in the first half. Just basic passes being missed. Throw in down the line to the Colonel, looking to turn. He's surrounded by Warriors though. And not much he could do. He wants a free kick for a shirt grab.
Gets one.
And he's been given one.
Very late call, but eventually given. I've just been spending the last couple of minutes counting consecutive passes, and I haven't gone above 3 yet for this half. A testament to what the match is like. We will see, I think, Jaden Hay over this one, marching forward from centre back. He's cultured right foot, I'd assume. Not sure what the delay is in so far. I think it's just trying to get the ball.
Certainly don't imagine the Warriors will be in any hurry.
No, they have no reason to be in a hurry. As 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Zebras players in the box to aim for. I hope this one can clear the first player as Hay puts in a... I don't think that was intended to go towards the near post. I think that's just come up a bit heavy. May count as a shot on target though, as Warren a very nice
It was on target.
header.
I don't know if it was a shot.
Yeah,
but they just...
it was a blank on target.
Yeah, they just give the ball away there quite easily, the Zebras, and Jake Vandermeer gets his head up, but plays probably his first poor pass of the game, which was straight down the throat of Jaden Hay. They can't really do too much with it either, as the ball gets... Good throw taken quickly there from Sunday McEwen to pace, but Paul Stevens, who's started this half really well and dealt with everything that's come to him so far, gets the ball away as Mark Ortman just has to defend pace there, and
no one calling for it.
No support from his team either. You really got to help the young lad out there, because he was just getting absolutely ridden there by Matt Pace, and no support provided as the ball is heaved in, and it's in a dangerous spot for the Dwayne Pipe.
Nearly got there, did the Dwayne Pipe. Now Ackley looking to
slice
up. Cartwright just gets it.
Do not take that quickly, son.
I think on the count, Dooku Booga was having the exact same thought. Don't you dare, especially the Hay or Sanders or Grunwald over the ball.
Oh, Jaden Hay's got to take this one.
You reckon Hay?
Yep, Jaden Hay's got to take this one, and I think that top left corner of the onion bag could be under threat right now, but geez, Grunwald certainly looks to have a steely look about him, and he's looking imposing over the top of the ball as they get their wall going, but free kick in a beautiful spot, and I think you've got the call, Andrew.
Has to be Hay. Grunwald, the right footer. So Hay kills it into the top of the wall. He might get a chance to volley it. He does. It was well blocked away, though. Now a scrap in the box. The Colonel was lurking. McCarthy smashes away. Grunwald's been taking those free kicks in recent weeks, but Jaden Hay just pulling rank here and picking out
great work from the
big
wall
Cartwright,
there.
I think, getting the block on it in the end.
Shoulder blade of Cartwright. As the throw-in taken it, and now a corner kick. So, strategic throw-in there, just putting it down the line. And the Colonel will jog across to take this. 1, 2, 3. Again, just putting the 5 up the Zebras. Most of the play so far in the first 10 minutes of this second half. As Colonel Sanders
Beautiful
in a
ball.
nice ball. Back post in one more direction, but time for Undy to clear that to nobody in particular. In his defence, he didn't have anyone up forward to aim for. So now Kadisha will put it back in that direction with a looping throw-in. Gains 15 yards and will probably do the same again. Flick on from Walsh. Now Sanders back to Kadisha, who's probably got closer to my car than the goals there.
Yeah, he probably wouldn't have. Yeah,
Yeah, that's good.
I don't even have an insult for that. That was just bang average.
It's not even gone over the stand.
Funtesque.
Yeah, look, that is a peak full-length cross from right back. I tell you, I've hit a few in that car park in my
They'll
life.
take it short here, and they get it to Captain Fantastic Jake Vandermeer, who plays a poor ball, which is poorly dealt with by Warriner. But fortunately for him, Ackley was there to help out, and that was quite a coming together between Warriner and the business. Neither player's backing down from that one, but good to see them both up quickly and getting back into the game. And they'll get the ball going again with Grunwald, who looks across to his centre-back partner in Jaden Hay, who gets his head down and gets running. We know he can play in a few places, and he gets the ball to the Dwayne Pipe, who takes a poor touch and falls to Ackley, but nothing really doing there for the Zebras, who really have started this second half looking much the better side.
Yeah, I'd agree, and I think the person who owns that Range Rover's had the same idea as me with the crossing. He's just kind of moved it from that corner, which I think might be a smart idea. As the business and Stevens, who will do what everyone else is doing and find the opposition. Now Ackley.
Tell you who's been pretty anonymous, you have to say, like most of the posters on Walter's blog. Lucas Hill in this half, he really has gone missing, you have to say. Hasn't really been linking up with any of the fervour that he did in the first half, as Paul Stevens wins a beautiful challenge once again. And they'll look to get their first real attack going here, the Olympia Warriors. But they won't, because it's another bang average ball straight down the throat of Mercury lads.
Grunwald will take over at the back. The big Chicago kid punches it to McEwen. Gets his head up and looks to run at the business. Threads it down the line. The count was offside, and there is something about this end, fellas. It is just impossible to stay onside at the football house end, it would seem.
There's gravity. I've got absolutely no idea why. It's some kind of force field at about 25 yards on this side of the KGB
It
house
is
pitch.
good defending, to be fair to those two Olympia centre-backs in Stevens and Vandermeer, because they're playing the high line, they're consistently stepping up at the right moments and catching out this Zebra side, and to be honest, it's probably the one positive about this football game at this stage. You have to say they're doing quite a good job at the back.
They've been in control as Grunwald smashes this one. That's a beautiful ball to McEwen. And McEwen again looks to drop the shoulder and rolls his foot over it, but the business defended it well. Behind it goes for a corner though. And the Zebras a chance from a set piece. A lovely ball from Grunwald to release McEwen there. He does knock those long balls superbly, the big Chicago kid. And Jaden Hay will take it from this side. The Colonel curling him in on the other with the left, so favouring the in-swinging corners, the Zebs. They've got a couple of likely targets with Hughes Lewis less than usual perhaps though. Back post the target, rising high, Sanders, great save, pounced upon by Pace and somehow kept out.
Oh,
Clean, cold,
wow,
superb.
you got to give him credit there, don't you? He could be the poster boy for the Liberal Party, that lad, because that was the cleanest goal that I've ever seen. Beautiful save, getting down with that right hand, and then the follow-up absolutely smacked in by Pace. That is one of the best double saves that you will see this season, lads, and give him a round of applause there for clean Cole, because that was just marvellous.
Look, we haven't been too complimentary of the work tonight, but that was absolutely fantastic from Jacob Cole, and especially that
they
second.
were the first shots on target for the Zebs too, as we see a dangerous ball played in by Bellini. But, yeah, they were the first 2 shots on target there from the Zebs, and wasn't he up for the challenge there, Jacob Cole?
I'll pull you up on that one. Third, Walshy earlier, that turn in the box and a half. So 3 big saves now from Jacob Cole. And that was a huge double save this game. Somehow not 1-1.
Oh, Falcon alert.
Oh,
big Falcon.
Highlight reel, please.
Huge Falcon.
Oh, you got to love those ones.
As Cole tidies that one up.
Yep, slow motion GIF, I think I might turn that one into as we see a bit of shirt tugging going on there between Colonel Sanders and Jake Vandermeer. And we'll have another look at this one. Beautiful work from our producer there. We're going to get the big Falcon in a second.
Oh,
yes.
Beautiful.
Beautiful camera work and beautiful producing there from our staff.
And what we've missed there is the first cheese of the match. Yes, I know, first cheese. It's I think that's to the Colonel.
It would have been to the Colonel for the shirt tug on Vandermeer there, absolutely, because, yep, that was the last free given away. And, yeah, when you're hanging onto a shirt in that manner, it usually is a cheese, and it's good to see one going to the black and white.
Yeah, I mean, as Bellini gets some space to move on the left-hand side, cuts it back inside the postman, leaves it to where he usually would be at the back post. And now the count completely overhits that. That's going to roll into this grandstand every single time. Now McCartney, not too much options in the middle. Eventually gets Bellini. There's a nice overlapping run on the left-hand side if he wants to find it. No luck. Now the Mountain, he's going to have a pop. And
that'll be a corner.
No, it won't be. It'll be a goal kick.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Jeez, I really thought that had taken a touch.
I thought he scuffed that.
Oh, well, you've got the glasses on, Paul. Apparently I might need to borrow them.
No. Just didn't see that kind of snick, that spin on the ball.
Yeah, went the 2 noise, but incorrect as per usual from myself. And we'll see McCurry get the ball going again, and they're stacking it up on this far side, and that is where the ball goes, in the direction of big Colonel Sanders. But Vandermeer gives the free kick away, and he's going to get himself a silly cheese. Do not... Ah.
I thought that might have been advantage then, as Sunday McCune was well in on goal.
I think that is that will be a cheese to Jake Vandermeer for just trying to get in on that free kick, I think, there.
And when you consider the position they're in, that would be a rather sensible
Jeez,
yellow card.
You see players get away with that one 3 or 4 times, and then he's just gone bang on the Olympia captain straight away. He is one of our stricter referees, Charlie White, but he's also fairly consistent.
Very consistent, one of the most respected refs in the business, as Cole gets that one before the Colonel can swoop. And he'll look to get them.
And I don't mind strict referees as long as they're consistent. But
he launches this long, Cartwright the target. Grunwald picked up for Zebras, pressured there from both sides of the Mountain and Cartwright, but Grunwald shows good composure and plays it back wisely to Jaden Hay. McEwen wants the long diagonal again with Altman tucking inside. That's ignored, and they go the other flank to the Dwayne Pipe, and I think he's beaten the offside trap this time. The Dwayne Pipe broken up by the imperious Jake Vandermeer.
Yep.
He has been flawless in defence tonight. That one's out of play, and the Dwayne Pipe not terribly pleased with the decision, I think it's fair to say.
I would say not either. It was a great challenge there before. And that's another slice of cheese, so we've gone from none to 3 in about 3 minutes.
Was that dished out to Teddy Kadisha for a little bit of dissent there, I think?
I would say
Perhaps,
so. It was certainly sent to Kadisha. I'm not sure what for. I reckon your descent theory is about right there, Jake Morgan.
Yeah,
couldn't really be for
couldn't
anything
hear
else.
what was said between the two of them, but I think he was rather saying that was the incorrect decision, sir, but perhaps not so politely. And they'll get it going again. The ball is just given the big up and under there from Grunwald to McEwen, who took a poor touch initially, but got let in there by the business Ortman, who then recovered quite well to concede the throw for them.
As Warrener will come across to take. Nice crowd enjoying the inside warmth of KGV House there. Lucky people. As Warrener launches that one to the near post and eventually cleared. Hoofed back in from pace, Walsh offside, and teamed interfering with play, so that will relieve the pressure.
I'll tell you what, that linesman on the far side is going to be having a sore arm by the end of this game, because, to be honest, it's been like a bit of an aerobics workout over there for them. And we're going to be seeing a change here for the Warriors, and I like to see it, getting one of their most important players. A little bit of a rest for the big game coming up on Tuesday. Warren Wadawu just heading down to have a little bit of a sit down. And
Joffrey and Koso coming on.
The Prince.
I'd go with former King of the Andals. Deposed King.
Well, let's see if he can try
Back
and earn
from the
himself
dead.
a promotion.
This one's nodded on by Lucas Hill.
And I think perhaps the ground announcer's just gone a bit of a reference.
For a second here, and it's Undy dueling with the Grunwald. The Chicago kid won. It all ends up, and now he looks to send his side forward. Plays it to the Colonel, who plays the release, looking for McEwen again. They're trying to play those long diagonals to him every chance they get.
Well, they're not getting wide enough, you have to say. They're hanging right on the inside of this pitch, and if they do want to be playing those big diagonal balls, you've got to be hugging the touchline a little bit more, at least from me, from the Pep Guardiola school of football. And we see just a bit of a ping pong in the middle there. Really, nobody knew really where that ball was going, and it's just lumped away, as we've seen quite a bit in this game, as the Dwayne pipe turns and looks to get in an early cross, but that is once again a poor ball straight to McCarthy, who gets his head up and spies Bellini. Plays a 1-2 with Hugh Undy as the wind just kicks up a little bit at KG5.
Just what we need.
And Hugh Undy starts a bit of a run, and beautiful little turn of pace, but then took a poor touch, manages to stay onside. Once again took a poor touch, but has been flagged offside now by our linesman down there in Stavros.
Stavros. Big Stratos getting a new name there. Interesting to see him on the line tonight. Usually one of the men in the middle. But, on the line tonight, Stratos. Speaking of the best, as again they look to play in McEwen, and the business comes across to deal with it. But it's a pretty consistent approach here at the moment. Ortman's tucking in, and they're going, we're just going to play it wide down the right here and try and get him behind. Here's Pace. He's not going to win that battle. Big Cartwright just shields the ball away for him. Worked it to Stevens. McCarthy. Hill getting a foot in was Grunwald. And the foul has been spotted, so a chance to build from the back will present itself for the Warriors here.
Surprised Undy's still on the pitch. 67 minutes in the legs. I'd imagine he's starting to tire. Hasn't had too much football lately, as Bellini tries to interchange with Hill. Overshot to Cartwright, but he eventually gets it back.
Well, one back by Nkoso too there.
Definitely, and it's accidental handball from Grunwald. Wins the challenge. McCarthy sliding in, probably a foul given there. No cheese though. Hill being very sporting and giving that back to the Zebras.
Just on Undy, I think they're just trying to get as many minutes as they can into him. He hasn't played at all in the last couple of months. There's some tidy work from the Dwayne pipe. Is again shut down by Vandermeer. And a very animated Colonel in the middle wondering where the service was. That was easily repelled. Needed a bit more purchase on that cross there, did Walsh. 22 minutes to go. Still 1-0 the Warriors, but it's the Zebras knocking on the door and certainly having the better of this second half. Got all the play up their end, and only some superb keeping from Jakob Cole has kept this one 1-0. That double save, the initial save, to be honest.
Yeah.
I don't know how he got down to get that hand to it. That was instinctive.
And then even to make himself big for the second save, as I'm enjoying McCurry's warm-up exercises, just jogging backwards and forwards at the D on the far side. As the throw-in's taken and won by the Warriors. Bellini's got Nkoso in an acre of space, still calling for it, and hasn't quite got there. Cartwright beaten out to it. Another diagonal ball, and again, Ortman up to the task. Now the Mountain. Can't quite get there. Now Cartwright. Good challenge from Ackerley. Sunday staying onside, but Stevens doing that. Vandermeer ended up falling over. Got to have a shot here. Back post. It's open and very well cleared from Stevens. And thumped clear eventually.
Just got himself in a little bit of trouble there for the first time in this game, Jake Vandermeer. Just planted his heels a little bit there.
Hello, the People's Champion just about to be introduced here on the sidelines. And
that is something that we love to see. Presumably, Dogger Brown has put up another change.org petition, and hashtag let Shea play will once again be realised, and he gets out there showing his typically fiercely pumping arms and short steps, but geez, he's a unit. He works hard, doesn't he?
I think a bit of cotton wool here for Lucas the Mountain Hill. Just keep him in reserve for Tuesday night. Where he will play will be interesting. It'll depend, of course, on the fitness of Jakob Sklenage. Still very much a 50-50 prospect.
Well, if I was Appiah, I think I'd be planning to be dealing with that big unit up the front as the striker, because that's where he's lined up tonight. So that seems to suggest to me that that's where the Warriors will be playing him, because we haven't seen a lot of that so far this year for him. He hasn't really lined up as the striker much, so it just seems to suggest that they want that target man up there.
So here is Nkoso. That was class, pure class, and the business Ortman out after it, but the quicker man was Pace, who just drifts in ahead and puts it out of play.
Pace by name, Pace by nature, isn't he? As the ball is...
Covers the ground very well, Matthew Pace.
Yeah, he really, really does.
Smooth mover.
Almost love to have another look at that little flick from Nkoso, because it was just pure class, wasn't it, to release the business before his poor touch gave it away.
Yeah, really
Positive
nice,
signs.
Joffrey. He's shown plenty in the last few weeks since coming into this squad. I think he's one for the future there at Warrior Park, as Hugh Jacks gets on the ball there and lays it to Tommy Bellini. Sliding in was Grunwald.
Viciously.
But play on. Quick feet again. Bellini can't get round, and Grunwald smashes it away. 20 minutes to go here. Still 1-0. Another low-scoring, real grind of an affair between these two teams.
Yeah, it's certainly been the pattern to play tonight, as we'll see. Anisha throw that one back in, immediately pressured by Cartwright, and then that high line again tested, and surely Akagol playing sweeper keeper. We'll get to that one. Now Warren up. It's the count. Who's battling with Nkoso, and Nkoso wins that one. Grunwald.
Yeah, well done.
Effective slide challenge, and just plays it straight to the Olympia player. Cartwright has gone back up top now. The Mountain's gone off. So your wish.
I did make that call, didn't I, lads?
Your wish 72 minutes late.
Genie from down under. Your wish is my command, says the coach of Olympia, and delivers it. It's good to see. I love the big Cartwright. He shields the ball so well and always fights hard for it as well. As we see another flick from Nkoso on the inside to either Ortman or McCarthy, but neither of them getting onto it. But fortunately for Olympia, they hang on to the ball as Bellini shows typically good footwork. We see the People's Champion play the ball out wide to Samut, who plays an early cross in, which possibly wasn't the worst option there when he was being closed down quite quickly by 3 players, but nothing doing in the box for the Olympia Warriors.
And now they'll work it wide down the right through Kadisha. He sprung the offside trap this time. He got him behind the count, but the defence again. Vandermeer and Stevens have been outstanding tonight. I think they're the best 2 players on the pitch.
Yep, absolutely. They've caught them out in the offsides on a number of occasions playing that high line, and it will be really interesting to see what the Warriors go with on Tuesday night, whether they want to continue with this high line or whether they're going to be perhaps more inclined to sit deep against a team that is sitting second in the NPL New South Wales.
Yeah, they'll be going all right, that's for sure. And Sanders wants a foul, and he gets it. A chance.
I'll be expecting the high line, I think.
We'll have to wait and see.
Big high line with the big mountain up top. Makes sense to play a target man when you...
You're a tactical wizard.
We talk some rubbish, don't we, on this stream? We talk some absolute rubbish.
You're a tactical wizard, as we'll see. The Colonel over the top of this one has a lot to aim for. And just going to take his time to get the wall set as the referee.
I think he likes it. I think he likes it here.
And we see the Colonel trying to get it near post. Ackley tries to aim for Walsh. Surely he'll play it out to Sanders and does, but he's left that well short. And the counter attack is on. Cartwright just stays onside, but it's well over hit. And Mercury will pick that one up.
Just the wrong option. You had Bellini and Koso bursting through the middle. They just had to have held it up, waited a little longer. They would have outnumbered them. Just
a little bit of a lack of composure there from the young man, but he's certainly a real talent, Samut, on that left-hand side. And McEwen plays a beautiful ball there for pace. Lovely work on the overlap, and it was probably a pretty decent ball in there, actually, to John Duku, who just held his run, really, when he could have kept going. And you see the typically fleet of foot Bellini try and play a ball over the top to Undy, who was making a good run. The ball falls to Hickey, who plays it quickly to Joffrey and Koso, who takes a very awful touch and just gives the ball away to Grunwald, who says thank you very much before a pretty average effort there from Sunday McEwen.
And now Grunwald pressured from Koso and shows great composure to get back on the left. Good touch from Dooku. Well cleaned up from McCarthy. And Bellini's just tried to run through Teddy Kadisha. And everyone from Zebra's wanting a through ball played, and Booger was not having a bar of through ball, so loses the ball to Undy. Now Samet. Undy continues the run, just Cartwright in the box. The People's Champion on the edge if he wants it, and that should have been the option, I think.
He always should be the option as far as I'm concerned when he's on the pitch.
True. Long and strong goes Marcello Mercury. A duel between Vandermeer and Sanders. It fell out the back for Paul Stevens, and now McCarthy worked it to Hickey. Back
Mr.
to the Biz.
Hickey.
Long and Grunwald again. Who's again just getting around Koso. Got a little bit of trouble in the end though. Bellini turns, gets his head up. Locked off by Pace. Now Hickey will come in and clean up.
What school's he at?
I don't know, actually.
I'd love to know. They're a privileged bunch of kids to have him as a teacher.
Bellini from range.
Woo!
Just over the top. Why not? It opened up for him. It wasn't too far away. There's some action on the Zebras bench. I think they're not far away from a sub here. I think Brooks might be the man coming on. Maybe not.
Have a look at that shot from Bellini again. Look, that's not too far over. Mercury certainly had to have a look at it.
Jeez, am I showing my ignorance here, lads? I have no idea who this is.
I'd say that would be Backhouse.
Ryan Backhouse, I think. If that's the 20.
Oh, right. No, yes, fine. I've seen him play before.
So he's going to come on for Teddy Kadesha. And Teddy Bear going to stride off with 13 to play here, and a chance to get his side an equaliser here, perhaps. For young Backhouse, another one of those Zebras youngsters. A bit of promise about them.
Fotak barking out instructions.
Really didn't seem too happy with being subbed there either.
No.
Teddy Bear Kadesha.
There's Cartwright. Gets the ball. Surely going to look back post and nearly gets there.
That was crucial there from Jaden Hay.
Cops a stud afterward as well, as we'll get back to that in a minute. Dooku well won. Fair bit of gap in between here. Play.
Oh, if I was Bellini, I'd be taking advantage after putting the stud in that face. I'd be taking well advantage of where that line is.
On number 20.
Well, that was a very, very confusing situation where Olympia wanted to put the ball out, and then Dooku just came and tackled the Olympia player. It was rather amusing.
And he's still down behind the play there. Oh, that's certainly an unfortunate one, but probably not intentional there from Bellini, or you'd certainly hope not. But he's up now, Jaden Hay, and he's a pretty tough competitor, and he'll certainly be back up to play out the game. But certainly looked like a painful one there, lads.
Yeah, certainly did, as some support
Good
for
to see.
Backhouse coming from the audience. And I think Olympia will end up with the ball back, or we'll throw it to Zebras, or we'll restart somewhere.
With the ball bag, I thought you'd be saying that Sav was down there having a sit on one.
As Backhouse can't get past the business, who's been all business tonight.
They've really looked to get at him in the second half, haven't they, the Biz? But he stood up to the test well as McCarthy takes it around the kernel, then goes back the other way. Did it well, McCarthy, and lofts it down the line. Gets some field position. I'm very happy with that in the game rugby union.
Kick for touch, beautiful stuff.
Get plenty of extra yards. Throw in, broken up by Hickey.
Why, that's a bang average sport.
Backhouse into the middle. I won't argue with that one. As Bellini up against Jaden Hay. He tries to beat Jaden Hay in a foot race.
I don't think our listeners will really disagree with that either.
I think we've got a pretty partisan crowd.
Altman nodding down to McEwen. Again, broken up by Paul Stevens. Said that a few times tonight. His pass intercepted by McEwen. Now Backhouse. Just on the park. He plays it to Pace, who coughed it up, and Stevens again wins it back. He's only got Cartwright ahead of him here. He's not got many options. He went down the line.
Yeah, he did have Hugh Undy just making a run through on the inside, which would have opened up Bellini, who was in acres of space on the left-hand side. But
interesting throwing technique there from
I was just about to say.
And the referee spotted it too. That was very suspect.
Almost love to have another look at that one if we'd caught it just in time, because that was inventive, shall we say.
You don't really expect it from Gronwald to have such an inventive throwing technique.
That made Murray look like Shane Warne. That was dodgy as they come. As this one's laid back to the Biz.
Hopefully they won't be changing the rules to allow that after this.
Charles White certainly wasn't. He was having none of it.
Good to see. And they get the ball going. Again, the Olympia Warriors through the People's Champion and out to Bellini. He plays a nice ball to Cartwright, and he needs bodies in the box, and it falls to Bellini.
1-2 now, an element of fortune about it. It bounced perfectly into the path of Bellini, who dispatches it into the back of the net. The Warriors 2-0 ahead, and that is definitely Lucas Hill's goal on the opener now.
Yeah.
Yep.
It certainly is, as Bellini, right place, right time, just casually sitting there, about 10 yards out from goal.
Oh, really unfortunate stuff there for the Zebras right back, who just... who was it? Pace, actually. Sorry, rather. Pace was tracking him back and just took a really unfortunate diversion off him, really, and into the path of Bellini, who gobbles it up, says thank you very much. It's in the back of the net.
We just had a
2-0 to the Warriors.
We just had a nice zoom in on Bellini's salad bowl, and look, not that I'm a style icon, but that is an ordinary do.
I don't mind it. I was going to give him raps for it. That's just let in there by Vandermeer, and there's a few shouts about potentially a handball in there, I think, from the Zebras players, but Charles White is just having absolutely none of it. And yeah, as they say, you're most likely to concede after you've just scored, and it certainly looked that way for the Warriors then. They'd gone to sleep a little bit at the back there. First time tonight I've seen Stevens and Vandermeer do that.
I was waiting for White to give that free kick.
It's been a good refereeing display tonight, you have to say, don't you, lads?
Yeah, looking to play advantage at all times. Pretty consistent. Just going back to that throw-in from Cromwell. Who's that South African leg spinner who put his head down when he...
Oh, Paul Adams, the frog in a blender.
Thank you.
The frog in a blender.
Is who I was thinking of. That was bugging me.
Oh, that is a dadism, isn't it? My old man was a big fan of the frog in a blender.
I had Adam Boje on the mind, or Boye, I should say, on the mind.
Nicky Boye, jeez.
Oh, Nicky
obscure
Boye.
these South African spinners now. This charging forward is the former king of the handles, and he's fouled there.
Look, I knew it was one of the obscure South African spinners.
Oh, we're getting obscure here tonight, lads. Beautiful stuff, you have to say. Talking about defunct spinners from South Africa. Well, we're supposed to be commentating a game of the NPL Taz, but...
It's been all of like 5 shots tonight, so it happens.
I mean, at least it's a sport-related tangent.
Yeah, it's an improvement. Anyway, McCarthy with a chance to swing something in here for the Warriors, and they'll try and really make the scoreline more emphatic. He curls it to the back post. Cartwright bounces off the post and then cleared away by Jaden Hay, and that was so very nearly 3-0.
That was just a chaotic ball to the far post, wasn't it? But I absolutely love these style of free kicks, looking to curl into that back post, because they absolutely confuse a keeper. They're either going to creep in at that far post or somebody's going to cut them off, smack it in at your near. They're a beautiful type of ball, and that was really well executed by, geez, I don't know which Warriors
McCarthy.
player actually took it. McCarthy. Best thing I've seen him do all night. Beautiful stuff.
Came to the state with quite a reputation as a good free kick taker, and that is Exhibit A right there, as you say, bouncing in the 6-yard box. You don't know if the runner at the back post is going to get it. You don't know if it's going to creep in. It's a keeper's nightmare. We'll see what he can do here as McCarthy launches that back post, and McCurry claims that well. Going to try for the quick counter, and a great pace from Jake Vandermeer storming back. He actually probably had the quickest counter of any player then.
Well, he loves to defend that bloke, and I love the way he approaches the game.
As Undy is now in and well cut out. One person appealing for a back pass, which I think would have been rather optimistic. And Samet clears that one. Walsh tries to thump that one into the night sky. And that'll be a Zebra's throw in with only 5 minutes to go in this game. Throw in taken. Pace trying to find Walsh. Falls to nobody in particular from Undy, who looks like he's going to be playing the full 90 here.
And he's really looked for that man tonight, Mr. in particular.
Yeah.
Hugh Undy, hasn't he? He's just shaking off the cobwebs, you have to say, after a bit of time out.
In his defence, I think about 90% of the people have been playing it to that person tonight.
Yeah, he's a popular man, Mr. Nobody. Yep. Certainly working hard and a big part of the game this evening.
As game's starting to die down a tad in tempo, and Olympia were just happy to honestly thump that clear and repel any late Zebra's attack. Cartwright just
just as our producer points out that there probably wasn't really much of a tempo to this game. Lovely work there from Ash. You guys might not get to hear him on the headset, but we get his acid wit every now and then.
Yeah, what a misfortune that is for our viewers, as the People's Champion, the two number 4s, battling hard, and eventually goes against the People's Champion, which is not the way it's meant to go, referee.
I think it was the right decision, though. A fair fistful of young Ackley's jersey there.
Well, it's pretty easy to get a handful of that jersey with how loose it is on him. Certainly one of the ones where Mum and Dad have said, we're going to let you grow into that one, lad.
As Grunwald drives this one flat, and it's deflected away by Hickey. Heavy touch from Undy, straight to Grunwald. And he sets a task for young Beckhouse, and he was never going to get that one. So we tick towards the end of full time, and it looks like the Warriors, having claimed second spot on the table with their win in Devonport last week, are set to defend it tonight. Zebras fairly well cemented now in fourth. Don't see how they don't.
That is fourth. What I love to see from that man. The big ball just drops his shoulder, big Cartwright, but fortunately Hugh Undy can't do too much with what is provided with him just there. And that's just another one of those lumped up and under balls, and it's well controlled there from McCarthy to allow the Olympia Warriors to hang on to it for all of 3 seconds. And that's just a bit of a whack there from Warriner, who's
in the armbar.
Yeah, jeez. Just going WWE rather than football out here on the left flank there from Warriner.
Bit of an armbar into the fence, bit of cage work there from Warriner.
Yeah, he didn't like the bit of hip and shoulder there, jeez.
Boom.
That'd be weeks in the AFL these days, just about.
It's another one you can add to your gift collection from
tonight
as
well.
Joffrey. By Joffrey and Koso, he charges in on goal. Joffrey and Koso, what a save. Marcello Mercuri comes up huge with the kick save. And Koso had Jaden's hay beaten, but he couldn't beat the keeper. Great piece of goalkeeping.
Typically cruel there from Joffrey, but cruel to the Olympia fans there who were looking for a third. And they're going to combine as a players down for the Warriors in the middle, and it looks like McCarthy, who's probably just copped a bit of a whack, and Shea Hickey looks to play it to Samet, and I'd be surprised if they maybe don't kick it out here, and that they do. Just as McCarthy complains a little bit to the referee about what might have been a bit of a whack to the boot, or rather a whack to the knee. He's going to be up now and going to get going again, but
Yeah, a bit of a limp there from McCarthy as he jogs away.
Just one of those impact ones, you have to say. It doesn't look like he's given a twist or anything like that. We'll just have another look at it pretty quickly here. And it's
trot on as after he made the pass. But we see him back on the ball now. Left for Bellini, who's got Warner for very tight company. Not too many options, and then gets pushed aside afterwards.
And
Warner has been in everything lately, and
he could be off, to be honest, if the armbar had been seen earlier by Charlie White, and just getting a little bit carried away there, Lukey Warner, perhaps a little bit frustrated with the way that this game's going, because, to be honest, he hasn't really had a bad game, but his team's really struggled to put together more than 3 or 4 passes, as you said, on a number of occasions, Funty.
Yeah, and just a little bit of frustration there, probably also an accumulative. Conceded a fair few fouls tonight, has Warner, so we'll see what McCarthy does with this one. Goes for the spectacular and has ended up closer to the cricket nets than the goals.
Yeah, he got under that one a little bit, you have to say.
Yeah, just a tad.
Just leaning back a little bit, which is not really the technique you want to go with in all my years of expertise in the game.
Yep. Which you have many, is that's nicely done from the Colonel. Now to Joffrey, and he's now robbed of it, robs it back, and then gets robbed again. Life cycle of Joffrey as it's now inside, and foul given. I was waiting for that to be called.
Nearing full time now, and the Warriors, they're going to enter the FFA Cup game in good form. Couple of wins. They've not been at their best tonight, it's fair to say. But, look, I think they'll just be happy after a pretty tough middle period of the year there to be getting the wins again. As Ackley dances around, and that man Vandermeer has been an absolute pillar. He's going to need to be that again on Tuesday, there is no doubt, but he has really come back to the top of his game in recent weeks. I thought you were
about to say Pillock then for a second, and I was about to give it to you, I'll tell you what.
Absolutely not.
No, absolutely not. He has been imperious, you're 100% correct, and perhaps just picking up the yellow earlier on for a shirt tug, but other than that, it's been a fairly unblemished evening for him and his central partner in Stevens. They've both played the high line quite well for the Warriors.
And seem to won nearly every 50-50. As it looks like McCarthy is going to be replaced here for the Warriors. And we've got coming on there Jacob Lehman. So he's going to get a token minute here at the end.
Good first name. Don't know too much about him as a player though, but great first name.
Well, he was a Warrior, and he went to South early in the year, and now he's back at Olympia. And, reuniting with Kenny Weston.
Had a bit of a Challenge League game, I think, earlier tonight. I think I saw him running down the wing.
He's still a very young player, Jacob Lehman. He's got immense talent, and if he can get it all together one day, he's going to be a star down that left wing. He offers plenty of drive.
They certainly do have a lot of talented young players, the Olympia Warriors. They've certainly done a fantastic job of acquiring them, and that is helped a lot by having that man Kenny Weston in charge, and might be something that continues with a player who was so crucial to the development of Tasmanian, or rather a coach that was so crucial to the development of Tasmanian youth.
Yeah, I certainly think that is part of the reason Kenny Weston was lured out to Olympia Warriors, as it's taken to Bellini, now Cartwright.
Well done, Cartwright.
Koso has got plenty of time on the left-hand side if he wants to find him. And elects to go behind to one of Olympia's youngsters, Joel Samet, who fires it in, and Cartwright managed to make a nice run to the near post.
Yeah, perhaps he'd just run the shaver over the head before the game, because he didn't seem to get much grip off the top of that dome on that header, and it just gets skied up and away. But
needs a bit more Mr. Sheen on that one, I think.
Yeah, certainly no worries really for the Olympia Warriors. Being 2-0 up and it being very late in the day here at KG5, there will be worse chances to miss. And that will be all she wrote. A comfortable 2-0 victory here for the Olympia Warriors, despite being slightly undermanned and not at their best. Have to say that they certainly had one eye on the big midweek game, but a comfortable victory nonetheless, courtesy of a Thomas Bellini goal, and
Well,
what Andrew Cooling will call a Lucas Hill goal, but I will call a
I'll tell
Jaden
you
Hay
what,
own goal.
After the 2-0 scoreline, it's definitely a Lucas Hill goal. Don't you worry about that. As the Warriors head into the FFA Cup with a 2-0 victory. And really, I think Jakob Cole, those big saves he made early in the half have really turned this game. It would have been 1-1 in game more at that point. He kept it at 1-0, and they iced the game late and head into Tuesday's match on a high.
You have to say it's tough for my man of the match between Jake van der May and Paul Stevens at the back, but you could almost give it to Cole just for those 3 saves, couldn't you? Because it's a cold night and he had nothing to do, but when it mattered, he was bang on form and crucial. As we have a look at the goals.
This Lucas Hill strike, absolutely Lucas Hill strike in the back of the net.
Yeah, you're kidding yourself, Cooling.
Yeah,
you
I
are
know.
utterly kidding yourself.
Look, probably.
Beautiful
Look,
work
probably.
there from Warren Wadawu, who I'm going to give the assist to anyway, because he
Focus
utterly
on the
skinned
assist.
Warrior. He utterly skinned Warrener rather than Warrior. He is a Warrior. But beautiful stuff there from Warren Wadawu to essentially force the own goal, because really you couldn't miss that, but he tried.
He did. So a 2-0 win to the Warriors. That's all from us here at KG5 tonight. We'll be back on Sunday from Darcy Street for what looks like Coronation Day for South Hobart. 3 points over the Kingborough Lions will secure the title for them. We'll be with you from 2 o'clock for that one. Until then, stay tuned to Slice of Cheese for all your NPL coverage. It's bye for now.